So I'm exhausted. I'm sorry. Let me try to focus this a better. Okay, so this is the video that I said I was going to make about propaganda. If you look at some of my older videos, I used to fact check videos, content creators that were sharing AI and fake news about Burkina Faso. A gentleman made a comment to one of my videos and was like, I wouldn't expect Ghanaians to make fake news. Oh, Jesus. Ghana's the second highest scamming country in Africa, fifth highest scamming country in the world, and they make fake news and propaganda. 75 to 80% of their media is controlled by the government. Sorry. All right, I'm back. So, the fact that you would expect somebody, because of their nationality, to make fake news and propaganda is insane. It's insane. For someone to say, like, oh, that's a black American, they wouldn't do this, or this person's from this country and they wouldn't do that. It's just crazy. By the way, I hated living in Ghana. It was the worst time of my life, the worst 2 years ever. I hate discrimination. And to leave the United States of America to move to a country filled with discrimination against other black people, especially other Africans, was insane to me. And I hate it. I think it's a disgusting country. So I've written several books about it. I go by the name TB Obogi for the unwelcoming to Ghana. You don't invite someone to a dirty house. Obolo, Yivu, Obroni, Darky, Blackie, and I forget the other one. Oh, you're not a real black person. The unwelcoming to Ghana. It's a series. Four of them are children books. Not really. But the photos and the words, and they teach you all the insulting terms that they call people who are light skinned and people who are overweight. It's just a bully fest. When you have a country and the culture is just bullying and being rude and disrespectful to people, that's that. But I didn't make the video about this. I'm making the video about propaganda in Burkina Faso. And a lot of the accounts on this app are filled with propaganda. But one of the gentlemen said, oh, this is what the West and the white man wants you to believe. A lot of this propaganda is by Africans. I'm sorry. There's a man here on TikTok, and this is the man here on TikTok. He has, that I know of, two accounts. He probably has more. He has thousands and thousands of followers. He claims to be a Burkinabe. He claims a lot of things in his videos, but ironically, some of these things are like the propaganda that June Afrique and France 24 spread. Like there's this big thing that June Afrique tried to say that Captain Ibrahim Traore worships the devil or he's into witchcraft because he can't be a Muslim. They said only his mother and father were Muslims. What? And there is a young lady that's only about 23, 24 years old in Burkina Faso. She is a Muslim, but she also deals in traditional religion. And France is trying to say he's under the spell of this woman, or she's just a 23, 24-year old. Anything to discredit Captain Ibrahim Traore. That is what June Afrique, France 24, and even some other Africans. I stumbled upon an account of a Nigerian, and the Nigerian was trying to say that he's a pseudo revolutionary in Burkina Faso, and he said a whole bunch of crap. He also said that he accused him of paying a Nigerian to spread propaganda about Burkina Faso. But again, if you see the AI videos and the propaganda, it's not things to make him look better. There's, oh, look, this development that's clearly in another country because they don't have the money, means, or brains to go into Burkina Faso and actually tape the development and record the development. However, let's go back to this Burkinabe gentleman. This Burkinabe gentleman, um, remember, when it's propaganda, fake news, and AI, you usually can't stitch it, you can't download it, you can't duet it because these people know what they're spreading is propaganda. About a year ago, there was an account on here which used the face of like Muammar Gaddafi and said that Captain Ibrahim Traore has made speaking French in Burkina Faso illegal and you go to jail for 25 years. 25 years for speaking French. Ibrahim Traoré speaks in French. 65,000 people liked that video. It had over 1 million views at the time I saw it. Could not duet it, could not stitch it, could not download it, because what he knew what he was saying made no sense. Thousands and thousands of people, especially Africans, commented, "That's a bit harsh, but that's a way to go. Get rid of colonialism." By sending people to jail for speaking a language that they've spoken for years, for decades. Like, it's still the working language in Burkina Faso, French. But anyway, I digress. In this man's video, he says a lot of things. So this man here, General Colombi, I don't know if I pronounced it correct, General Colombi. He is the ambassador to Burkina Faso in the United States. He is also a former general for the military of Burkina Faso. He is also the former Minister of Defense for Burkina Faso. This so-called Burkinabe claims that the ambassador did several things. Number one, in the video, he says that the ambassador is Captain Ibrahim Traoré's uncle. Who gives a fuck? But allegedly, he's his uncle on his mama's side. So, what does that have to do with anything? I don't know, and I don't care. Some of the soldiers in the army are his biological brothers. Captain Ibrahim Traoré comes from a family of soldiers. Oh my God! What a horrible person. In the United States, his family would be held as something amazing. You served your country for years, for generations, you passed it down. Military service, university educated. Captain Ibrahim Traoré has a long history of being intelligent, educated, dedicated to his country. And he has family members that are in the military. What a horror. I don't know if this is true. I do call the ambassador uncle, though. I just do it because I think it's funny. France reported this information almost 2 years ago. Yeah. So I'm saying the quiet part out loud. This man and this man are supposed to be related. Nephew, uncle. So the fuck what? Anyway, I digress. So let's move on. This Burkinabe man also accused General Colombi, accused him of slaughtering his father. If you watch some of this man's videos, he has 2 TikTok accounts that I know of. He has a WhatsApp page, he has several pages on Facebook, and he spits nothing but propaganda. So let me get this straight. You, a Burkinabe, repeats propaganda, misinformation, and lies that the same thing France has been saying. And then your father was for some reason. And you're blaming this man. You sound like he sounds like a terrorist. I'm sorry. So there is also another account. It's on WhatsApp. I took a screenshot of it. I took the link and I sent it to the ambassador. Yes, I'm a snitch. Oh well. I send a lot of accounts, a lot of links, and a lot of screenshots to the government of Burkina Faso. Oh well. Oh well. But anyway, these people are causing confusion and misinformation. So here's a small clip of a video. I want you to look at the video. I can't show the entire video, but I want you to look at it. Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar! So this is a video of terrorists, and they're in the northern part of Burkina Faso. So I don't know if you follow the country or if you follow the news or the actual news in Burkina Faso. Um, there was a video and it accused the soldiers of killing civilians and children in a certain part of the country. It was an NGO that did this report, and June Afrique France 24 spread this news all over. So this NGO was on the phone with people in a remote area of Burkina Faso, and they claimed that the people said soldiers attacked them, their own soldiers. How did you know they were soldiers? We know they were our soldiers. The people in this video that I just showed you are wearing the uniforms that they've stolen from soldiers. When you raid a base and you take out soldiers and civilians, you steal uniforms, equipment, kind of like the uniforms that these men are wearing. There was another video, and it was supposed to be of the soldiers doing something horrible to children with stones. So I saw the video, and it was horrific. But something was odd. The uniforms. I don't know if any of you follow news in African countries. I usually wake up like 3 a.m. and I collect the newspapers and collect news articles, put them together all in one place on my Facebook profile, and I share the news because I'm tired of people saying they don't know what's going on in Africa. And so that's why I do it. And I'm exhausted. And I'm also depressed and frustrated. I noticed that when I went 1 week without doing the news or reading the news in any African country, that I felt a lot better. I'm exhausted, I'm tired, and my nonprofit is still trying to raise money to get 2 tons of supplies to Burkina Faso, and it's not going very well. I'm not famous, I'm not popular, and no one famous or popular is talking about Burkina Faso. You see a lot of videos about Sudan. The civil war is going into its third year, and they've destroyed that beautiful country fighting. Rape, killing, murder, it's starvation. Um, and then they talk about Palestine, Gaza, and the genocide in Gaza, but they don't talk about Burkina Faso. It is a genocide by terrorists. Mali, Niger, the terrorists just keep recruiting and recruiting. So no matter how many the soldiers fight and defeat, they keep on getting new recruits, which is why I say in almost every video, Ghanaians and Ivorians are fighting alongside terrorists and killing people in Burkina Faso. Ghanaians have threatened my life. I am a real nonprofit NGO, and a Ghanaian took my PO box and he said he was sharing it to every African, and that they were going to come get me at my PO box. That they were going to come get me. So, yeah, this isn't Ghana. I sleep with something under my pillow, and I dare you to come get me. But anyway, I digress. The propaganda is not just by Westerners, by white people. There are Africans spreading propaganda, like the Ivorian that continues to comment on my page, and I won't block him because I want him there to see what I'm posting and to show that people know better than him. He uses talking points. The president of Cote d'Ivoire is trying to take on another term. He is trying to run the country for life. He's 83 years old. He's 83 years old. Cameroon president is 92, or did he just turn 93? I think. I'm looking over there like there's somebody in the room with me. Um, Paul Biya, he's trying to extend his 40 years rule of Cameroon. Cameroon, by the way, is now the number one most neglected internal crisis in the world. Uh, DRC is number two, and Burkina Faso is number three. But in 2023 and 2024, Burkina Faso was number one. Where I say number one, and when we say neglected internal crisis, we're talking about no money, no help, no aid, uh, and people don't know. And the propaganda that is spreading about Captain Ibrahim Traore is doing just that. It is misdirection. It is misinformation. It is to keep you focused on one man. There are 23 million people in Burkina Faso. 23 million people are in Burkina Faso. And 44% of them are children. Same with Niger. Niger has the highest birth rate in the world. However, Nigeria's population is more because of the infrastructure, the electricity, and the many issues that are taking place in Niger because of France. And because their president was unwilling to tackle terrorism. So, this is the thing, you have a coup in Mali, and then you have terrorists running back and forth from Mali and Burkina Faso and Niger. So, then the coup on the 22nd of September in Burkina Faso, it makes a working relationship with Mali and Burkina Faso to chase terrorists together. So if they cross the border, you're in communication, you can continue to chase them, and you have the same goal in mind, and that is to end terrorism. So when they say Sahel states, there are 9 countries in the Sahel state. It goes all the way across the continent. So Mali, Burkina Faso are together. Then you have the coup in Niger. The coup in Niger was done by the head of Bozeman Security. So the former president of Niger, was working with France. And France basically said, hey, terrorists, you can have this part of the country and you can terrorize them. What? Do you know France is supposed to be one of the most powerful countries in Europe? Excuse me, most powerful militaries in Europe? So, if you're one of the most powerful militaries in Europe and you're in Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, you have soldiers. Why can't you fight terrorists? You're more powerful, you have more equipment. It's because you don't want to fight terrorists. So, think about this. Before the coup and before the troops were told to leave Burkina Faso, there were 400 French troops. The president that claims he was democratically elected in December of 2020, he only had 20% control of his country with the French military there. He also was not letting his troops respond to areas where there were citizens needing help. So imagine that 7, 8 years, you're under the reign of a terrorist. People from the United States right now can understand that with the current administration. You're under the reign of a terrorist. So he has a democratic election in December of 2020, but you only have control of 20% of your population. That doesn't make sense, does it? So a lot of this propaganda in one of these accounts, which is on WhatsApp sharing videos, he is pro the former soldier who was knocked off in Burkina Faso due to a coup. This former soldier, Demembia, I'm probably not pronouncing that correctly, Demembia. I'm sorry if I said that incorrectly. This is my US American tongue. I apologize. But the propaganda being spread is trying to show people love for the former soldier. If you follow the news in African countries, you will you'll have a stroke. This is one of the most. I've been doing this for 4 years. I've been researching, learning about Burkina Faso for 4 years. I feel like I'm dying. I swear. I don't even have furniture in my apartment. I gave it all to my daughter when she moved. And for months, every week, every 2 weeks, thousands of crayons, thousands of color books, thousands of pencils, school supplies for children in Burkina Faso, an entire room empty, but it has luggage, 10 pieces of luggage, totes, everything with school supplies. I'm exhausted. And every day that I feel like giving up, I think about the people in Burkina Faso that it is rotten. It is so rotten to think that help is coming and that why are people ignoring, and this is probably why the how the people in Gaza feel right now. Hopeless, alone, like why is no one coming? And the in Gaza has been happening for decades. Israel has been killing Palestinians and their children for decades. So think about Burkina Faso. There are still some people closed off from being able to receive supplies, food, anything from the capital Ouagadougou or Bobo Diaslo. It, imagine how these people feel thinking someone's going to come and help. Some people have joined in and started fighting with the terrorists. I mean, it just happens. I mean, I hated living in Ghana, but think about this. Before there even was a Ghana, there were people on that land that happily traded Africans to the Portuguese, to the Europeans, just happily traded because they owned slaves and they just happily did it. And then you have one chief, he said, "Oh, we were tricked. They gave us alcohol." That's an entire another video when I talk about the blue kiosks, which are bars in Ghana, and they're called blue kiosks. They're not actually blue kiosks either. Again, that's another thing. But the propaganda is just Captain Traore has gotten too popular. And the thing is, I have followed the country since before he even took power. And I had hoped that the soldier before him was going to fight terrorism, was going to make a change. And he didn't. He didn't do much for 8 months. But the more you share a fake video, the more you share AI, the more people are saying, oh, he's too popular. We're going to have to assassinate him. And every day I wake up in my belly and in my soul, I'm just scared that the news will say he's been assassinated. And what they're going to do and what they're trying to do is they don't use some big white guy that comes in with a uniform and his gun and everything. They're going to use Africans. They're going to use other Burkinabe to take him out. Just like Blaise Compaore. They just used him to take out Thomas Sankara. Thomas Sankara didn't have any brothers, but Blaise was his brother. His parents even forgave him for killing their son, or his sister says they would because they loved him. He was like their son. And with France and Cote d'Ivoire, he killed him. And he ruled Burkina Faso for 14 years. And then there was the Great Revolution of 2014. I believe it lasted 3 days, and it was horrific, but it overthrew him. And ever since then, the political background of Burkina Faso has been horrible. One man, I think, even ruled the country for less than 2 weeks. And other countries pretend like they want to help. Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire allow terrorists to live in their country. It's been proven. Terrorists have Ghana cards. Terrorists have even those old laminated voter cards. Terrorists live in Burkina Faso. I mean, in Ghana. And the funny thing about that is, you have Ghanaians protesting that Nigerians need to go. So terrorists don't need to go. but Nigerians need to go. Burkina, Malians, Nigerians, they were all kicked out of Ghana May 16th, 2025. 2,300 of them were targeted and kicked out of the country. So you mean to tell me northern Nigerians, Burkina, Malians, and Nigerians in Ghana who happen to be living on the street because Ghana did not set up anything, any place for them to go. They just let them come into the country and just let them rot. Ghana could have even gotten in touch with the United Nations and they could have set up a camp for them and helped those displaced people running from terrorism. But did they? No, they didn't. And John Mahama decided he was going to kick them out. And Ghanaians keep watching my videos and they keep saying, oh, our president, he's the only one that's friends with them. Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire have US, European military bases in their country. A Ghanaian just called me stupid because he's like, well, where is the location? I said it's on the tarmac of the Accra airport. You're an idiot. We don't have an airport named Accra. I didn't say the airport was named Kantanka. I don't even know how to say it properly. Who gives a fuck? Fuck your airport. Fuck your shitty fucking airport where you have a European and US military base on your tarmac. Fuck your airport. Fuck pronouncing it correctly. The fact that so many people, especially, will not donate to my nonprofit, especially people I meet, Philadelphia, New Jersey, all this, they're like, Ghana. I'm like, oh, could you donate $5 to my nonprofit so that I can get these items there and buy more shirts and things and supplies, toiletries when I get into the country? Oh yeah, sure, I'll do that. And then it's like, oh, but Ghana this and Ghana. It's 56 countries in Africa. It's 55 countries in the African Union. 55 countries in it. Swahili Arab Democratic Republic. Yeah, it's part of the African Union. 55 countries in the African Union. Kill me for that because I know stuff. As a matter of fact, the African Union and ECOWAS has been ignoring terrorism in the Sahel for over 8 years. They don't give a fuck. And now the European Union is giving Ghana, ECOWAS, military equipment, money for what? Oh, to go fight terrorism. Ghana knew, all presidents of Ghana, including John Mahama, know how bad the terrorism is in Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. Do you think they care? John Mahama went into Burkina Faso and he says, when your neighbor's house is on fire, if you're an African, you know what the fuck that means. When your neighbor's house is on fire, hey, look, white man, I control my country much better. Look, we're a democracy, and them, their house is on fire, but ours isn't. Come invest in Ghana. Imagine if the U.S. base, if Trump said, hey, you know what, we could save a lot of money, just close the base in Cote d'Ivoire and Ghana. What do you think would happen? What do you think would happen? Ghana sends out most of their troops to the United Nations, and Ghanaians applaud it. Oh man, they're like one of the number one countries that sends troops out on peacekeeping tours with the United Nations. And Ghanaians are eighth lowest IQ. When you send your troops out to the United Nations, I believe, I can't get the correct amount, $1,200 to $1,400 a day is paid to your country per soldier. My ex is a soldier in the Ghana Army. I try to stay away from him, but he just called me the other day. Do you know he makes less than $650 a month? He's not even a low level soldier. He even has a stripe. Lance Corporal, I believe. He doesn't make $650 a month. But 700 troops are sent all over to different locations, South Sudan, Lebanon, all over. And what the United Nations says is, can you provide food for your soldiers? Or we will. Oh, no, we'll provide food. Rice. Ghana provides rice to their soldiers who are deployed sometimes 12 to 13 months. Rice. Rice has no nutritional value. Nothing else with the rice, just rice. When the soldiers return, they're paid, I think, about $30 a day or $35 a day for the time they were deployed, while Ghana gets anywhere from $1,200 to 14, 1500 a day per soldier. They're given like $35 a day when they return. So while the African Union is 70% funded by the European Union, I'm gonna say it one more time, like Dr. Umar, the scammer. The African Union is funded 70% by the European Union. Does this mic work? Is it on? Okay, it's on. I guess. I don't know. I'll have to edit the video later. ECOWAS is funded mostly by Nigeria. Nigeria, which has economic hardship right now, is funding ECOWAS. What about the other 14 countries that are in ECOWAS? Why aren't they funding ECOWAS? Listen, the propaganda and the people you're following are getting paid off of TikTok, off of YouTube, off of Facebook. So I saw a post that the man that runs this WhatsApp account that I just turned over to the ambassador, uncle, is supposed to have been arrested. I don't know it and I don't believe it. But if this is Captain Ibrahim Traore's uncle, who cares? You remember the coup in Gabon where this guy overthrew his country? Well, this guy is allegedly related to this guy who he overthrew. The Bongos, they ran Gabon for 53 years. Bongo's father and then him, he is very wealthy. This man, who is a soldier, overthrew his cousin, but he went to the French embassy and asked for permission. Then he copied off of Captain Ibrahim Traore and said he will not take a salary. He'll just take his soldier salary. This man is a millionaire. He is a millionaire. While Captain Ibrahim Traore released his bank information and says that he has like $136,000 in his bank account, this guy is a multimillionaire. This guy, his cousin, is almost a billionaire. He's probably a billionaire, actually. He's extremely filthy rich. So, the same thing in Chad. The ruler of Chad died fighting terrorists. Very noble way to go, protecting your country. He ruled Chad, or to Chad, for 30 years. Idris, his son, who was a general in the military, took over. No coup, he just took over because his father was killed. And now he still rules the country. This guy in Guinea Conakry was a soldier, and he was also trained in the United States. Nobody bothers him. He's not bothered, and you wonder why. Because he's friends with this guy in Rwanda. This guy in Rwanda who has his daughters in government, and this guy in Uganda who's been in power for 40 plus years has his wife as the Minister of Education. You never hear anything about these people, do you? You don't see anything in the media, especially from June Afrique or France 24. But Captain Ibrahim Traore has no ties to being in the pocket of any Western country or Russia. A lot of Africans like to say he's in the pocket of Russia. When there was a vote in the United Nations and it asked, did Russia invade Ukraine and should there be sanctions and all this other stuff, Mali and Niger voted in favor of Russia. Burkina Faso abstained. Burkina Faso has not had Russian troops in the country on the ground. They had some Russian troops guarding Captain Traore, and they had Russian troops training the military on how to use equipment that they got from them. Germany also went to Burkina Faso to train the soldiers on equipment that they got from Germany. What is the problem? Does anybody watch the news? Does anyone really follow anything in Burkina Faso? Does anyone really care? And as you're sitting here watching this video, people are starving to death in Burkina Faso. People are still not able to leave their villages and towns. And you have all this propaganda and misinformation being spread while people are dying. I'm fucking exhausted. I'm fucking absolutely exhausted. And you can see there's a cultural difference between like Ghanaians, Nigerians, and people from Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. These people in these three countries are not known for diaspora wars, are not known for scamming and fraud and crime, xenophobia. They're not known for any of this. And I like to call them Africa, Africa. These are people living, I'm sorry, France did not develop any of the countries that it colonized except for Cote d'Ivoire. By the way, 1 million Burkinabe were enslaved by the French and sent to Cote d'Ivoire to develop their country. So, to this day, for some reason, the government of Cote d'Ivoire and some Ivorians have animosity towards Burkina Faso. And I don't know why. I don't get it. But I'm going to start sharing videos of the history of Burkina Faso and some of the coups and instability in the country. I made this video to say that in real time, in real life, while we're watching, if you even watch the video all the way to the end, people in Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger are being slaughtered, and no one fucking seems to care. No one. And I'm like, what the fuck, man? Like, what the fuck? I'm sorry. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. If you watch this whole video, I really appreciate it. Just